Today is the 8th day of June, and that means it's World Oceans Day. Recently, I sat down for an interview with Kathleen Martin of the Canadian Sea Turtle Network. CSTN is a Halifax-based, non-profit organization dedicated to sea turtle conservation across the world. Loggerheads, leatherbacks, and other sea turtles often journey north at the end of their tropical breeding seasons to feed on the smorgasbord of giant jellyfish in the North Atlantic. Kathleen and her organization are one of several we'll be profiling as part of our upcoming documentary titled Seeing Blue, Envisioning Our Future Oceans. I asked Kathleen if there was a moment in her past when she knew that she'd really found her passion for the ocean. The film is scheduled for release at the Sustainable Oceans Conference in Halifax, September 22nd and 23rd, hosted by the Dalhousie Marine Affairs Program in collaboration with the Halifax Central Library and WWF Canada.
So I wasn't.
Join us for the
I
occasion.
Wasn't a kid that grew up like looking for insects or really interested in nature. I spent time outside. When I was very young, I lived in Northern Ontario, and we were always swimming in lakes, and we were always in the woods running around. And then I moved to Illinois, where I spent a lot of my growing up time. But I was a kid who was reading all the time. You know, I wasn't a kid that was like, let's go on a hike and see what we can find, or, you know, any of those things. And it wasn't what I studied in university. It wasn't, I was recycled and did sort of the regular things that people do, but I was not one of those kids or one of those people at all. And so what happened was I was involved at the beginning of this program, the Sea Turtle Network program, and I was speaking with Mike James, who was the person doing who was his program that started it originally, his graduate work. And I did work in communications, and I had studied peace and conflict when I was in an undergrad. Doing my undergrad was part of what I studied, and was really interested in how you address situations where there are people on opposite sides, when there's this dichotomy, right? There's the environmentalists and there's the fishermen, and how do we approach that in a way that's going to bring peace and good, also really good results and some kind of justice into a situation, both for the turtle and also considering the need for humans to exist as well. So that for me was kind of the question that was interesting to start with. But at one point I was speaking with Mike, and we were talking about leatherbacks, and I just said, what's the big deal if we lose them? You know, what if they go extinct? Is it really, they don't give us anything? Like, what do we get out of these animals? They're not commercially valuable. We don't eat them. You know, there's nothing here that is really, is it such a big deal? Like, why are we doing this? And he looked at me in a moment that, was one of those life-changing moments, and he just said, it is not all about us. This world is not all about us. And I had never thought of it that way before. I'd never thought about how we are one piece of a very large system as opposed to the dominant piece in that. We are the dominant piece in that system, but we are in our own minds the dominant piece in that system, right? So, and that really resonated with me, that whole sense of, you're right, this isn't just about us. And isn't the world more amazing when it isn't, right? Isn't it a more beautiful, intricate, multifarious space than it is if everything's coming through the human lens? And that really captured my sense, again, of justice, but also my imagination, right? In the sense of how much, just the beauty that's around you, and that how peaceful it is in a way to be part of a world where you are just a small piece in it, right? When you're just a little part of something. Like, I'm standing on a nesting beach at night, in Trinidad, and it's dark, and like dark where there are no lights, which we don't often get to experience in North America anymore, right? Particularly if you live in an urban environment, but a sky full of stars, and just these turtles hauling up next to you, all around you. And you are so small in that environment, and they are doing something that they have done by instinct for thousands and thousands and millions of years. And that is incredible, right? That's amazing. So that's what did it.